Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Cahill and welcome back to my channel. I'm back. I went away unintentionally, but I am back and hi. How's everybody doing? I had an unintentional leave of absence. I don't quite know what happened. A blanket of darkness descended over my life, as one does, and I just didn't create any content. Let's call it a summer hiatus. Sounds better than it actually probably was. Let's talk about my absence for a minute, okay? Because it's something I think that every person sort of needs to understand, is that you can't be creative forever, all of the time, non-stop. It's not feasible. It's not plausible. People need to take breaks. And when you don't take breaks, when you don't take purposeful breaks, you end up taking unintentional breaks. And it ends up having unintended consequences on yourself, as it happened with me. I can't pinpoint exactly when it happened or exactly what happened, but I think it was more a series of events happening within the writing community and within my life. No drama or anything like that, and I never get sucked into drama. It's quite upsetting actually. With what was happening life-wise, things just weren't going how I'd imagined or how I'd planned or how I needed them to go, and it sort of then toppled over into this whole imposter syndrome sort of thing. Not that I quite understand imposter syndrome, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I just suddenly started feeling very isolated within the writing community, and then also within life itself. Obviously the pandemic hasn't helped any of that whatsoever. Got made redundant in July. That was fun. And then I think everything just sort of happened at once, and all of the, the standard feelings that you get with writing: inadequacy, oh, that person's so much better than I am, the imposter syndrome, why does no one like me or like my stuff, etc, etc. That all just sort of went on top of me like snow had just dropped on my head, basically. And yeah, I just checked out, couldn't handle it, couldn't take it, and then I was just absent. I didn't like doing the entertaining part of what it is that I like to do, which is making videos, which is creating content, which is, doing my live streams, etc, etc. And then I couldn't face the social aspect of it all with, comments and watching others' videos, Discord, Instagram, things like that, because somehow the attempts I made just made everything worse, basically. And the blanket of darkness descended, and it's taken me quite a while to sort of shift the blanket. It's still there, it's not quite ascended, but I'm going to ignore it and I'm going to move on, because I can't stifle under the blanket any longer. I'm going to attempt not to anyway. It's very recent events haven't helped. That saying, bad luck comes in threes. That is my life right now. Bad luck comes in threes, and I'm unsure whether or not I've had my third bad luck or I'm only on number 2. It's very, very annoying, but here I am with a smile regardless, ready to get back, get to it, get to the creating, get to the writing, because I do still have big plans for this year, and I will feel worse if I don't fulfill those plans, basically. So I have no choice but to. I'm so thankful it was literally only the social side of it that caught the despair and the demotivation, because while I've been away, I have actually been doing some work. I've had burnout breaks before. I've had unintentional ones where I didn't realize I was burning out and I just couldn't face doing any work. I've had purposeful burnout breaks where I sort of caught that I'm going to burn out if I don't stop and slow down. And I think this was more a burnout of social media, which I don't think I've ever experienced before. So it's no wonder that I didn't catch on that it was happening. But the break did me good. The feelings are still there. They're never going to go away, unfortunately for me. But they're not affecting me negatively at this precise moment in time. So the best I can do is to sort of acknowledge the fact that these feelings are there and continue doing what I like to do regardless. And sort of continue on trying to pinpoint when I need to stop to avoid all this again in the future. And I think it's important that as writers we do find our limits. We do learn the signs of when they are approaching. We learn the signs of when they are there, and we don't push past them and try and do more, because it's just a very bad thing to try and push past your limits. And your limits can change monthly, daily, weekly. It depends on you, and it depends on how you're feeling. And something you need to learn, guys, don't make the same mistakes I did, okay? You come first. I always say it and I always forget it. That's the mother in me. But you come first. Writing rule number 1, you come first. Remember that, Sarah. We are September. We are 1 month away from Preptober, which means we are 2 months away from NaNoWriMo, which means we are 2 months away from the deadline that I have given myself in regards to my stupid, crazy plans for writing in 2021. I've sort of tacked on to the end of those. Let's have a quick writing update, because I have been working while I've been away. I have been doing the writing stuff. Not a lot, but some. So props to me in regards to that. There are 3 main projects that I'm working on at the moment. I say 3 main projects, sort of 2 main projects and 1 secondary project, which I am not actively working on, but I have plans to actively work on. We'll start with the secondary one first. Project Faye was my 70k in 7 days pantsed novel that I wrote in 2020. Was it 2020? Was it 2019? Either way, I wrote it for camp, not this year, one of the years before this year, but very recently. The second beta reader sort of made me realise that I do need to replot and rewrite, because I have a habit at the moment, which is correlated in Project Mystic, is that I focus too much on the characters as opposed to making the plot sort of make sense. Which is an improvement for me, because usually I'd focus too much on the plot and the characters would get absolutely nothing. So now the characters are decent, yay, the plot needs work. So I've sort of gone from this plot characters to this plot characters. So I sort of need to get it here, but I'm learning, which is good. It's great to see that I have improved in aspects which were weaker for me, which was characters and arcs, etc, etc. And I just need to make sure that I focus on both equally the first time around, as opposed to having to work out everything with the characters at a later date, which then inevitably changes the plot, which then changes the characters. Blah, blah, blah. I've learned. I'm growing. That's a good thing. So I do have plans to replot and then rewrite Project Faye. That is going to be 2022 though, because I'm too busy in 2021 to even think about that. But Project Faye is no longer Project Faye. I'm super, super excited. Project Faye finally has an actual friggin' name. Thank you so much, Day, for helping me come up with the name for this. Day was one of my beta readers. She's absolutely fantastic. Mwah, love you. Titles are the bane of my existence. I'll either come up with them straight away before I start writing, or I just can't think of them. To this day, Project Body Swap still does not have a name, and that is the novel that I'm currently querying. So the fact it doesn't have a name is a little bit not the best, but I finally figured one out for Project Faye, and it is Beneath the Hawthorn Lies. A little cover that I did for it as well, isn't it so cute? I'm so proud of myself. I did such a good job. Don't tell me otherwise, please. Moving on to Project Mystic, which is the second of my main projects that I was working on this year. Project Mystic is a YA paranormal. It does actually have a proper title. The acronym is OSASEOIT. I'm just very stubbornly not saying what the actual title is. I don't know why I'm not saying what the actual title is. I just want to keep it a secret to me and the very few people that have actually read the book. As I beta read with my characters are great. The plot sucks. The plot doesn't suck. The plot is just not explained very well. I'm currently in the process of replotting Project Mystic. It's all in here. Everything from my personal notes after I finished the novel, beta feedback, all beautifully color-coded, of course. Then we have my read-through notes where I basically read through every chapter and noted down everything that did not make sense plot or character-wise. Again, color-coded, so I know where my main focus needs to be. And then I've got all my plotting notes here at the back, and then a brain dump for the plot in order to fix all of the plot holes and things that don't make sense. Histories that I need for some of the characters, making the villain more two-dimensional, motivations, and go blah 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 blah. It's all in here, which I've never done in my entire life, is dedicate an entire notebook to something. I don't use the notebooks I have. I've got like 50. I don't use them. I'm specifically using this one. I'm very terrible with notebooks. I buy them to look at. They're pretty. You don't use notebooks, okay? You just have them. It's a writer hack for you there. Is that a hack? I don't know. Either way, the alpha read went okay for Project Mystic. Characters were good. Plot needed a bit of work because it didn't quite make sense. That's fine. That's nothing that I can't fix very easily, because everything that makes the plot make sense is up here in my head. I just didn't put it in the novel because I knew it, so I just didn't bother explaining it. I don't know why I did that. But that happens sometimes though with writing as well. You won't put something in because you know the answer, but you just don't think that, oh wait, the reader needs to know the answer to that as well. It's lazy. So that again is, it's slow going with the plotting notes that I need to change, which is fine. Again, actively replotting is going to have to wait till 2022 because I still need to finish Abingdon House. I break it more down into detail here. My crazy stupid writing goals for 2021. Ha ha ha. Abingdon House is my middle grade magical realism series, which is sucking up 2021. It is a 5-book series in which I somehow decided to write the entirety of that series in 2021 because I'm doing a cake Havana and writing the entire series before I start revising, so I can add stuff from book 5 to book 2 to book 4 to book 1 to etc, blah 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 blah. I wrote book 1 in 2020 for NaNoWriMo. I've written book 2. We did that Camp NaNoWriMo in April. Book 3 has been written. That was Camp NaNoWriMo in July. Book 4 I intend to write this month, the month of September 2021, which gives me enough time to do Preptober and outline in order to write book 5 in November NaNoWriMo, which will mean all 5 books written within the span of 5 months in the span of 1 year. And then 2022 is basically just going to be my rewrite year, where I rewrite and replot and plan Abingdon 1 through 5 and Project Mystic and Beneath the Hawthorn Lies. And I will have no new novels to work on. All right, which was supposed to be this year. I wasn't supposed to write any new novels, but I've written 4 already. So that didn't go as planned. But we are doing good with Abingdon House. Book 2 is a complete and utter mess. Book 3 is less of a mess, but still not the greatest. I don't know about book 4 and book 5 yet. And I know that my plot for Abingdon House has issues, because while I tout it as a Percy Jackson meets the Inheritance Games type novel, it's sort of sitting more as Harry Potter-ish style, I guess, not in regards to like plot or content or anything like that. I suppose in regards to styling, as in with Percy Jackson, where they're going out and they're on their different quests, and all these quests culminate into the book 5 endeavour. Harry Potter is more they're at school and stuff happens to them while they're at school, but they also need to focus on school while they do everything else. And Abingdon House is sort of like that in regards to it. I don't know how coherent the plot is as a whole and how everything fits together. And we don't know who the villain is until book 5. Like, we know something's up. We don't know exactly what is up until book 5. So everything culminates into the arrival of the villain in book 5. So whether or not I want them to know who the villain is or what the plan is, in earlier books, so it's like something to work. I've got some stuff to work out, but I'm gonna wait until I've written all 5 of the books in order to figure that out. Basically, I don't need to be talking about the issues with Abingdon House. That can wait till next year. Focus, Sarah. Focus on the now. In summary, I'm currently trying to ignore all of the problems that I have going on in my life and in my head in order to get some actual work done and be more social, because yes, I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. The kids are back at school next week. Thank God they are back at school, so I can actually be free to do stuff without having to pause every 5 seconds to not get there screaming into any videos I might make. I'm going to be spending the rest of this month sorting out Abingdon number 4, which I'm super excited about, because it is the book that I've been looking forward the most to write, because the most awful thing happens in it. And I'm very excited, yet terrified and upset to write this very terrible thing. But I'm so excited too. So I'm gonna have fun with that. And yeah, try and shove the blanket off, basically, and keep it off, because I don't want it no more. I'm too hot. I don't know why I ever bother doing any of these videos unscripted, because I just descend into absolute British babblery. I really do. It's like, okay, I've spoken about that, like, what else do I need to say? I don't think I know. I do think I need to drink some tea though, actually. Let's just make myself a bit more British and nice hot tea. Very British of me. Very British, drinking my tea. See, the babbling is here. Right, I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't know why you would at this point, but there we go. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you handle things like burnout? How do you handle things like imposter syndrome and pushing forward when things aren't quite going your way? I'm going to finish my tea and get back to work, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Good thoughts, snappy writing.